Welcome back, Ashley. Now I feel like I'm too quiet. Can you talk?
Hey. It's a little bit quiet now.
Yeah. I think it was just the buzzer, so I might turn that down. There we go. All right, well, episode 31. We had some technicalities or technical issues. I've got a buzzer set up on the phone and it was extremely loud, so we turned the volume down and then I couldn't hear Amy, so I didn't like that. But anyway,
we are filming very early this morning. So if you're watching on Patreon and I look like crap, it's because it's 7 a.m. And I'm not a morning person. If you've heard some of the other podcasts,
you must be lonely. But what'd you just do? We got you pumped up. So you'll probably notice last episode I was in a bit of a cranky mood to start.
I'm still waking up. I'm defrosting.
So Amy's defrosting, and I said, best way to defrost is to give me 10 squats. So she gave us 10 squats. And how do you feel after that?
I feel tired still. And
she feels tired.
I feel like I'm in the military.
The squats don't actually work. We've had a wild week. It's been a fun week for us as a couple, for you individually, for me individually.
I feel like it just got busy really quickly. Like we didn't even
we didn't have
anything. So then it all just got filled up.
Yes.
So I'm exhausted and I think I'm getting a bit sick, which is not good because I've got a show next week.
No, we are going to Perth, which will be fun. Yeah.
Anyway, let's keep on pushing through.
Let's keep on pushing through. This will be fun. So this week we were on, or the last week, so the last couple of days we've been on a couple of podcasts, which was fun for us.
Yeah, we've never been on a podcast together as guests being interviewed. It was actually a really different dynamic, wasn't it?
Yeah. How did you find it?
I liked it. It was actually nice not having to
think.
No, you do have to think, but we're
direct it.
It was nice, having someone direct it and ask the questions rather than us just bantering and bickering.
Yeah, it was nice.
Still a bit of that.
One thing that became apparent was just how much Amy does not like me talking over the top of her. So I'm going to do my best to bite my tongue. I just get so excited, when you're in the moment, and I know I forget things very quickly. So I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. And sometimes it's fine to banter, but sometimes I'm on a roll and then you're just coming off. And
I know. I'm sorry.
So you're just going to pick your moments.
Do you want a sip of my coffee?
Yeah.
Do you think that will help fire you up? No, don't drink all of it. This is my third coffee.
It's your third coffee?
I had second. That's a lie. So don't drink too much of it. So yeah, I thought it was really fun. So on the podcast, we were on the Dos and D show, which will come out in a few weeks. Amy will share it in the Patreon, and then after a while, we'll probably share it on socials. And then we were on Rebuild Health and Fitness, and they were two completely different shows.
Yeah.
The first one with Dos and D was...
You're a couple of young guys from Melbourne.
Yeah, awesome dudes.
Really great guys. And that was just more of a chat about who we are as a couple, lots of relationship stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty laid back and funny.
It was fun.
It was relaxed.
It was actually quite nice to hear Amy speak about me to other people,
and vice versa.
Yeah, because normally, I don't know, it feels like a bit wankerish how I guess I spoke about you in some things. It's not like I would normally relate that to.
Well, it's not like you were speaking to me; you were speaking to them.
Yeah, and it would be kind of weird if I was. Yeah, it'd be kind of weird. I don't know. It's maybe not wankerish.
Why is that weird? Why don't you say those nice things to me?
Well, I do say. I think I do say the nice things, but I think it's different. If I were to stand here and say those nice things to you, but it's different when you can hear your partner describing how they feel about you or how you've impacted their life to other people, because it's not like, I can say you've helped me change my life and stuff, but I'm not going to go into much detail because you were there. I don't feel like I would ever describe the actual context of the whole thing. So when you're explaining it to someone else, you've got to give it context so they can understand a bit more.
Yeah,
absolutely. So I think, it's just a different way to communicate. I feel when we're doing podcast episodes here, and when we're interviewing people, and then when we're being interviewed by people, they're all different ways of communicating. And even though we say similar stuff, it's different. And I like it.
Yeah, it was really cool. And then the second podcast we went on more of a deep dive.
We went deep.
We spoke a lot about body image because the person who was interviewing me, what's the podcast called? Their podcast?
Rebuild Health and Fitness. So Same thing. Once that goes live, we'll put it in Patreon, and then eventually we'll share the links on social.
Yeah, so they asked us a lot about body image, really, because he's a dietitian and owns a gym.
Owns Rebuild Health and Fitness, which is a gym and CrossFit facility.
So it was great to have a chat with someone in the health space, a professional about body image.
Were you nervous about that one?
Yeah, of course. I don't want to say the wrong thing. I mean, it's a really touchy subject for a lot of people. It's triggering, and also I don't want to be cancelled. Oh, I mean, whatever. If I'm cancelled, I'm cancelled. But
no,
been cancelled
honestly,
before,
you don't want to be cancelled though. Like,
no, like I
one
just don't want to upset anyone.
Yeah,
you know.
And that's, I think, we can even talk about that now quickly. Just how much thought, even though sometimes when you do make mistakes or post something, you're always going to get varying opinions.
Yeah.
And you can never, I don't know anyone in the world who can post something that all 7 billion people on the earth just go up top, high five.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, there was actually an article, I shared it in our family chat just before. Actually, I'll share this in Amy's Patreon because it's going to be very eye-opening, just around AI and technology. So a guy called Jonathan Haidt, now he wrote a book on happiness, 10% Happier, and he's a psychologist, social psychologist, and he then has written a couple more books. He's got 2 more books coming out, and he wrote one with the former CEO of Google. And they're talking about AI will make, so this is the headline, this was not planned, but AI will soon make social media much more harmful to children. He proceeds to go on, I'll just go back to my Substack. Sorry, this was impromptu, so let me go back to it. But they weren't, back in the day when they first launched all these social media platforms, they believed that humans would love to just be connected. Like, how cool is it that you can be connected to people all around the world? But then the tribalism...
They knew what they were doing.
Yeah. Or even the guy from Google is like, we didn't realize that people wouldn't adapt. Like, now that we're all connected, we thought, hey, there was a really good line in here where they thought we would all... get along or whatever, but it's just made the us versus you even bigger because people want to grow their followings and stuff like that. So even though a lot of people don't agree with how they're marketing themselves or what they're posting, social credibility is more important to them than actually connecting and being more, helping people together. So
of course, people are selfish. It
was a wild article, but the books he's got, the second book coming out is Life After Babel, which I don't know what the hell Babel is. Adapting to a world we can no longer share. So obviously we can't, resonate with everyone in the world, hence why there's a lot of hatred and trolling and stuff on the internet, because it's like your story and the way you see the world. Someone who's even watching this podcast might go, fuck that, Amy's completely off the mark there. And then they'll just take it to heart rather than just trying to be like empathizing and compassionate and putting your Birkins or your fluffy slippers on. Can you get your legs up there and show the... Amy's wearing these. Are they from the hand? No, it's too early for you to stretch.
Amy's.
Look at that. She's got these fluffy little slippers on that are just unbelievable.
My toots warm.
And the toots. And the first book is going to be called The Anxious Generation, How Smartphones and Overprotection Damage Mental Health and Block the Path to Adulthood. So I've... wrote those books down, so when they come out I'm going to buy them and read them. But I'll share this. Do you want me to share this in your Patreon?
Sure.
It's fucking wild. And then there's a full essay attached, so I don't know how we got there, but we're there. Sorry for the boring.
What were we talking about before?
We were talking about Rebuild Health and Fitness, how we dove deep.
Oh yeah, and being cancelled.
Cancelled and how you're worried about it. And
yeah, but it all went well.
I'm not big enough to be cancelled. Like I could, but it's not as significant as you being cancelled.
Yeah. I mean, I've been cancelled before, so it's fine.
Put you back.
But yeah, it's a touchy subject, and I don't know, I think we spoke well. Everyone has different opinions on, body image and the talk around obesity, which I find, I don't mind talking about it with a health professional. I'm not a health professional, so it is varying views. But I think we kind of had a similar common ground,
definitely.
I'd say.
And so you'll have to listen to that episode because it's too early for us to go deep again.
Yeah.
Like, we'll keep this light and humorous, but we're not actually that funny.
Not at 7 a.m.
That's probably the funny part, that I thought we were funny for a moment. Well, let's dive into the Reddit part, or should we go to my headline first?
Okay, you go first this time.
All right. So I was writing a blog and I was like, what's some stuff going on in the media about relationships at the moment? Hence for couple goals. The first thing that popped up was atrocious dating trend that's rife in Australia, exposed by women.
The detectives have come out.
And I was just like, Daily Mail's written this. It's got to be legit. It's got to be like a gold standard article. So I dove deep into it. And
so you clicked it?
Yeah, of course I did. How can you not?
You took the bait.
How can you not click on that headline? That's just got me going.
So what does it say?
A Melbourne woman has exposed a sick modern dating encounter that she's endured recently, prompting others to agree it's a huge issue. Here's a few quotes that I took, but then I'll paraphrase it and we can talk about it because I think it's an interesting topic.
Yeah.
And a lot of you most of the listeners are probably in relationships, but if you're not, might be helpful. I have been made to feel so bad by guys for communicating my basic needs and putting personal boundaries in place, Kim continued. So I think that was about, I think the lady who wrote this article was 34, or not wrote it, but was interviewed. And she was just like upfront about she wants children and that scares people away. So I think that's important.
Fair.
Yeah, I think that's important because there's no point being with someone if you want.
Yeah, you got to have boundaries.
Yeah,
and
100%. And then obviously they interviewed a lot of men to see if it works on both sides of the fence. And yes, quote from one man, that's how he identified in this: responsibility lies with both. Social media has ruined it. The expectations are so high. Plenty of good people out there.
Okay.
And so...
What an insightful quote.
That was very insightful. The journalism was through the roof. I'm always blown away with how good it is.
So what?
Anyway, so the purpose was there were some main points that a lot of people were then discussing. There were more quotes. A lot of people were discussing in this interview around being ghosted. Breadcrumbed was one, which I can't remember what.
Love bombed. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, love bombed was one, and there was one more. And then obviously I went diving down what all that stuff is.
I feel like all this stuff existed before dating apps anyway. It's just that now we have social media, so we like to use buzzwords around it. And,
yeah. I feel like you're getting closer to me. Do you know what happens when we get too close? As much as I love it, for the podcast, when we snip this up into reels, we can't get our own shots because I angled it up to the wall. So you're good. And probably face. There you go. Sorry, guys.
You're in the military
I'm
again.
Producer, I'm director, I'm a host. I'm doing it all.
You're the commando.
I'm the commando.
I forgot what I was saying again because you're moving me around.
Sorry, you were about to be something insightful. No, but you were saying how you feel all of these things have been around much before social media.
Yeah, love bombing is when somebody showers you in love in the beginning just to get you hooked, and then they kind of become their true selves and start to ignore you or ghost you.
Or right.
But then it leaves you in love with them,
and
which they love because they're narcissists. So, that's not a new thing. And what's the other one? Breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
That's when you you'll give them a little bit of love and then ghost and then come back and be like, oh, sorry, I've been away. How you doing? You look so beautiful. Yeah. And then ghost away.
So just really trying to get in your knickers every day.
Yeah, or just you're leaving breadcrumbs so they stay in love with you. You're not love bombing them then ghosting, but you're leaving. Do
you know what I would call that?
So you're just Hansel and Gretel, following them around.
If I was to buzzword that, I'd call it fantailing.
What?
If someone left a fantail trail for me, I'd be all over it. Fantails are chocolate. They're delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's interesting though. What are your thoughts then around social media? So we were obviously together before Tinder was around 10 years ago, 9 years ago, but it was frowned upon.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about, obviously now you can jump on it, it's all about the visuals, how do you look? And it's also so convenient to go, I'll see how I'll throw the line out to this person, but while I'm waiting and I'm bored, I'm just going to find another couple.
Yeah. I don't know.
Do you think that's positive or negative?
I think it's a great way to meet people because it can be really hard to meet people, but I think people are hiding behind these apps as well. It doesn't allow people to grow their communication skills or their social skills. You know, they're having to go up to a woman in the bar. And yeah, I don't know. But it's also good because people get to connect and those shy people get to hide behind their phones. I don't know. What do you reckon?
I in theory, I like the convenience of it because you can, if you use it, I don't know how to set it up, but I would assume you could find one. Obviously, visuals are important to some people. It does cut out the fact like some people might have great charisma or a lot of that sort of stuff that you may not get to see if you don't swipe the right way because of how they look.
Yeah, there's plenty of people that like I've been attracted to who are like not conventionally good looking.
Me, but I have great charisma.
Not you, you're good looking as well.
Oh, biased because you married me.
Yeah, it's so sad that people are missing out on some great connections because of they've seen a photo that, it's just so face value. But then again, there's apps like Hinge, who the guys are talking about.
Dos was talking about, yeah.
And they were saying that Hinge is not really about photos, but surely you have a photo up there.
I still feel though, like even communication through text message, like even I can interpret a text message wrong with you. Mm-hmm. We've been together for so long, and you depending on how you feel, you could interpret a message in any which way, even if it's like good morning. And if I'm in a foul mood or we had a Barney the night before, I might not interpret it in a way that's beneficial to our relationship. So I think like if you're trying to tune someone on a text, you're still missing a lot of like the communicational cues like body language, vocals, all of that sort of stuff. And I also feel that people are looking for, the prince and the princess, like straight away. If there's a flaw, they're like, nah, that's a red flag straight away. Whereas if we look at our relationship as a result, as an example, you would have potentially swiped the okay way on me. Mm. My chat would have been terrible because I was a poor communicator. Yeah. And then I might have shared, I've done this or that, and you would just be like, no, this dude's not where I want him to be. And I know there's a lot of data, especially around women, depending on where you're at career-wise, they don't want to date a bloke who's not as successful. So they're already automatically cutting out a pool of blokes. Yeah. And so, for example, if that were you would have looked at me and gone, nah, no chance. So, but where I'm going with that is the cool thing about us is that we've grown together. Yeah. And you've been patient with me in that growth to now where the point where I am a lot better than I used to be. And I think people aren't patient enough. No. But is that such a bad thing? Well, you miss out on something, but maybe you find something else that does fit. And you don't have to go through the growing pains. I don't know but then maybe that's like you need that, I don't know, that experience together to be a stronger couple. Yeah, I think you can appreciate it, seeing someone's growth as opposed to just looking for this perfect person. And then hardships make the good times better. Yeah, and a lot of data supports the fact that women are struggling because there's so much data proving that like women's pool of dating is so hard to find because they don't want to date anyone who's not as successful as them. Mm-hmm. And then also they're wanting that perfect thing straight away. And the data, it works both sides, but it's a lot stronger around females. What about men wanting the woman who looks like a fucking supermodel? Men, it's funny, the data, obviously more visually appealing, but it's like 80-something% of blokes are just swiping right to try and meet someone, even not visually. It's so, I think... or does that data show up because men just swipe? Any hole is a goal. Well, a lot of variables, isn't there? Not any hole's a goal. I don't know. That's disgusting. Well, I got that from you. What? That quote is from you.
So
I'm sure I'm not the first, but come on, let's.
it wasn't in context of you.
Yeah, let's move forward. Okay, over to your Reddit story. Anyway, I don't even know. That was my thing. So we discussed it. It's done. That's gone to bed.
My great segue. My Reddit story. I don't think I need to get my phone for it. It's a really short headline, and that is, I caught my girlfriend cheating on me with an AI bot.
Hold on. So is the girlfriend cheating on with the AI bot?
Yeah.
Look, I'm now mind blown. I thought when you mentioned it before, you were talking about a bloke, and I was like, there's a lot of weird dudes out there
The
who.
future is now. People are already having relationship issues because of AI. So she had obviously been in like horny texting with this AI bot, and he's seen the chat, and he's like, I don't know how to feel. Like, it's not a real person, but it's like she's gone to something else.
So she would have been in Pleasure Town while talking to a computer.
Yeah, I guess so.
That is. Look,
I'm not surprised that it's a female, because you know how women are always into like erotica, you know, with their
I didn't
books?
know this. I'm actually
50 Shades of Grey. Women really get turned on by reading erotica, whereas men are more visual. So, yeah, fun fact for you. So it doesn't surprise me that it's a woman, like, and this is like next level erotica where she can actually interact. So I just think this is like a women version of a new age version of porn for women.
I have so many questions for you. Why is it that women get turned on by reading?
I think it's just the way our brains work.
Content. So does that work for you?
I don't know. Maybe I should try it.
Yeah, I'm going to go by...
I can't say that I've read 50 Shades of Grey or anything like that.
I'm going to...
But that's like, yeah, I've read that data before.
Well, any gentleman listening...
And it makes sense because, you know, like Twilight and...
I liked Twilight.
Did you read it, though?
No.
You watched it?
Yeah.
So...
That's fascinating. Well, that's interesting. It's weird that my first thought was that's got to be a bloke. Like, I didn't even listen to who you said it was. I was just assumption that's definitely a dude doing that.
Yeah, no, dudes just go straight to Pornhub or whatever it's called. What's the other one? RedTube.
Yes. Not that I know. It's just on the grapevine. Right there. So there you go. That's fascinating. I've got ChatGPT open over there, so we'll test that out with you after.
If I were him, I wouldn't be too worried about it because, I mean, he has to ask himself, does he watch porn?
Yeah, good point.
And if he does, then he can't be mad.
It's got to be, wonder if, I don't know.
It's going to open a whole, like this AI is going to get more advanced. Eventually, it's so scary. They're going to put AI into robots, and then it kind of becomes a person.
Well, it pretty much is us, like, because our phone is an extension of us. It's just not inside us. We can open it up and do that now.
And then they're going to start putting like fucking dildos and fleshlights on a AI. Well, they'll just make it like a robot.
Like a
with
robot
parts.
that you can bang.
Sex robots that you can talk to and knows what you like, knows your kinks, and really like.
Would you do that?
No, that's creepy. I reckon that's crossing a line.
For those who are watching, you saw what I was doing, but for those who are listening, I was mechanically humping.
Lucky they don't need a description.
Well,
I think it's pretty.
Yeah, you get it. They could have thought it was like Beethoven or something.
Oh yeah.
Something like that. But well, yeah.
It's gonna. I think AI is gonna really cause some trouble in the relationship world. And also, if men can't find women, is that what you were saying? Yeah,
I reckon there's going to be a lot. Like, for some reason, my belief is there's a lot. Actually, once again, listen to a podcast, a lot of data showing how lonely a lot of men are, and they just sort of sit inside. And once again, data, I'm not going to quote it because I can't remember it, but people want to know, I'll send them the thing, around how lonely a lot of men are, and they're literally just sitting at home, smoking weed, playing video games, watching porn. And it's why there's a lot of angry men, because they aren't obviously socializing and developing those skills, which is crazy, scary. So here would be my advice. Don't watch porn, watch your wife. To the women, don't read sexual stuff, read your bloke.
Get your husband to read 50 Shades of Grey to you.
Yeah, or just write words on your whizzer. No, I'm kidding. That's too far, sorry.
But it is interesting, and maybe it is an insight into her kinks or whatever she likes. So
I'm actually, maybe run with that.
run with it. Maybe you guys can use AI chatbot together.
Yeah. Maybe you can talk in a robot voice.
Oh my god.
Oh my God.
I'm so horny for you.
People think we're so
Do you like
weird.
my robot voice?
No, I don't. I feel majorly turned off.
On that note, pet
we got to do
peeves.
our pet peeves. Hold on. Wait.
Hey, you got some coffee left here? I'm going to drink it.
Yeah, it's cold though. Ready? Set.
Pet peeves.
That's actually a good buzzer.
Oh,
that was
it's a different
alright.
one every week because you still haven't
Well,
managed to put it
yeah,
in.
I've got so much on.
So
don't
that
know-
brings me to my pet peeve.
Alright.
Lockie has got so much on. He's got the perfect schedule and he manages to fit everything in like a Tetris block, as we've heard
Like a Tetris block.
before.
I like that.
But he hasn't managed to incorporate
No, I just haven't prioritized it.
time to put away his clothes.
I thought you were going to say put the buzzer on.
You don't have to wash your clothes anymore. You get them folded.
Well, here's. Can I rebut?
And no, I'm not done yet. And they just sit in the basket and the pile is growing and growing and growing.
Well, there used to be this ghost around home that if I'd leave it there long enough, it would just end up in my cupboards, and I don't know where it's gone.
It's gone.
It must have
Gone
gone
to
with the
the
old
light.
house.
Gone to the other side.
Yeah, well, look, in my defence, actually, there's not really a defence, but I'll just throw a ball in the air and see if you catch it. I was saying, I said it before, but all these extra things just keep popping up events. It's like now we're going to the coast. I'd started at the beginning of the week, which is why I was a bit apprehensive about going to the coast, because that was when I was going to get my life admin done. And now it's like, we're all going to the coast. How good? I'm like, yeah, that's good, but there's a lot of things that I was planning on doing this weekend that now aren't going to get done.
Oh, you planning
So
on folding your clothes?
I was going to do that. I was going to clean this office out. Like, it just gives me anxiety.
The ball has been thrown and
Catch it.
I missed it,
Catch it.
because
I can't catch.
I'm just hearing excuses. All you have to do is put them in your pigeonhole.
Amy actually can't catch as well.
Oh.
All right.
So guess what your goal is for this week? Today.
Right.
All you have to do is put your clothes
All right. Well,
in the cupboard.
Okay.
What's your pet peeve?
my pet peeve this week is probably countering the Tetris block. You're like a sandbag with your time.
Yeah.
Or actually a bag of rice with a snip cut off the top, and someone's just going shaking and shit's going everywhere like chaos. And for me, as we spoke about, did we speak about it on the last episode where it was like even just trying to get you locked in for a podcast episode or so many other things is like any bit of routine to sit down and do things is like really, really hard unless it's like, let's do it right now. And so that really mucks up my Tetris. So
Well, maybe you're mucking up my rice bag.
everyone knows discipline equals freedom. Time management helps you be disciplined. And in order... Yeah, you're going to don't coach me, man. I'm just helping. Because I know you're a busy gal. You got a lot of things going on, which means the busier you get. Imagine if we had kids or stuff like that. You got to manage your time like a mofo. Okay? So we need to prioritize the things that are important. You don't do things on a whim like, I'm actually feeling my nails today. I'm feeling my lashes today.
Yeah,
So
I like doing that.
yeah, that's fine.
Like
I'm not-
love being. I don't want to schedule in my nails. Or like schedule in. I like being spontaneous.
Yeah, no,
sometimes.
but that's fine. But schedule some time to be spontaneous. But it's really hard for you in your
Schedule
position
spontaneity.
where you've got a team of people trying to help you guys, and you're like, oh, you just fit in with us, and everyone's like, well, we've got lives as well, you know. So that would be my thing. Is like a little bit more structure helps.
Okay.
You can schedule in spontaneity time.
Well, we've scheduled in our podcast time.
Yep.
We've scheduled in our TikTok time. For sure.
Oh, we haven't actually spoken about it.
Spoken about what?
We're going to do a live online podcast.
Are we?
I mentioned this to you. Don't play silly buggers with me.
Okay.
So
I've forgotten.
how that's going to work, we're going to create an event. It's obviously going to be online, but we'll be doing it like we're doing it right now. And you guys can be sitting on the other side. We'll actually have a computer screen so we can look and wave at you and stuff, which will be fun. Because what we eventually want to do is like do a mini tour. But we want to, I guess, see how it works, how it feels, and do that. So once again, if you're in Amy's Patreon, you'll probably get the information first. And for everyone else, you just got to stay tuned to our Instagram and stuff to get the link to be able to register for that. We'll give you a month's notice. So we do want to look to do it in like 4 weeks from this episode, just so you can all clear your schedules and put it in the diary. All right, that's going to be enough from us. But next week's episode is going to be a hoot. You know why? Because we're going hiking today. And then next week, Amy and I will be in Perth. So we're going to have a heap of behind-the-scenes content.
I think I'll go back to bed. I don't want to go hiking.
She does. All right, hooroo.
Hooroo.